come along and let's make some marinara sauce. So I've already washed my tomatoes and I've got some of them here. I'm going to core those. We're going to place them on a baking sheet and put them in the oven at 450 degrees and roast those actually for about 40 to 45 minutes. If I had some fresh garlic cloves, I would put those in there as well, but all my cloves are dried up. So I'm just going to add garlic to that that's already canned. I'm going to put that in my sauce before I can it. So we're going to put those on here, roast them with some onions on here. I'm going to roast those as well. So come right along. We're going to go ahead and core our tomatoes, and then we're just going to place them on the baking sheet and then roast them, and then before we put them in the pot to cook them down, the skins will just come right off, and we'll save those and we'll dehydrate those to make tomato sauce. So we're just going to go ahead and place those on the baking sheet as I core them. So just going to take the centers right out. We don't want that part, this hard section right in the middle. And these are Roma tomatoes, so they're always kind of long looking, but we got these from the Amish market, and the Roma tomatoes are have less water in them than regular tomatoes, so they make really good paste, tomato paste and tomato sauces. So that's what I'm using today for my marinara sauce. And check out this onion from the Amish market as well. So look, this thing is massive. So they're sweet onions. I think they're Texas sweet maybe, but anyway, the Amish market, they had these, and I'm going to use those as well in my marinara sauce. So I'm going to cut them up and put them on the pan with the tomatoes to roast them in the oven. So when you're cutting up tomatoes and you see a bad spot on it, always after you cut it or before you put it in your pot to can for canning, always smell it. If it smells like it just a little bit, if it smells ruined, do not put it in there, because it will cause your whole batch to go bad and ruin. So I always just kind of sniff them to make sure if I think that they possibly could be bad, and I don't take any chances, because one apple will ruin the whole bushel, and it literally with tomatoes as well. Now we have our tomatoes all set up on the tray. As you can see, we're going to cut up that big beautiful onion. I'm going to put that on here as well, put some salt on here, and put it in the oven for at least 40 or 45 minutes. So I've got my onion peeled and ready to chop up and put on the pan with the tomatoes so we can roast them in the oven. So I'm going to chop this beautiful thing up. Beautiful. So we're just going to chop it into chunks and place it on the pan for roasting. And then when we put it in the pan or the pot to cook it down on the stove, we're going to add some garlic and some fresh basil out of the garden. And then I'm also probably going to put some Italian spices in there for the marinara. And then we're going to put it in jars and can it and put it in a water bath. So it's going to be wonderful. It's going to taste so good. I made some last year and it was so delicious, and we used it the other night. Just placing this down in there, and these onions are going to give that tomato some flavor in there as they're roasting together. And then we're going to put them in the pot and use an emulsifier, and we're going to just blend it up really good. Like I said, these tomatoes are low water content, so they make really thick sauce. So we're going to do that and can it up. And I think I'm going to do some in some pint jars as well, because a lot of times maybe we'll just want a little bit of marinara to dip a roll in or something like that, and instead of opening a whole quart up, we'll just make some little pints as well, so that we'll just have just a little bit when we need it. And it's going to taste so good. And I'll show you after I get them out of the oven, I will show you all my beautiful basil that I just harvested out of the garden that we're going to put in here. I also have some basil that I freeze, and what I do is I take like an ice tray and put the fresh basil chopped up in there and pour olive oil over that, and then you put it in the freezer and it freezes, and then you just pop them out and put them in a little baggie. And then so when you're making pasta, sauces, or anything, you can just pop out one of those little out of the baggie and drop it in your pot, and it's got the olive oil and the fresh basil, it stays green, to go right in your pot for your recipe. It's amazing. So here we go. Now I'm just going to add some salt on top of that. I'll just have some regular iodize. I wish I had some sea salt, but I don't think any sea salt. We're just going to put some salt on here. Like that. Because these are going to make some juices in the pan as well as it's cooking. So it's going to go in the oven 450 for 40 to 45 minutes. So I've got all my tomatoes put in my pot. I'm going to add some garlic. And so I have a large jar of garlic here that's in olive oil. I'm going to add a good amount of garlic in here. And then I'm going to add some Italian seasoning. Now I have my fresh basil in here already, and the last one I made I did not add any Italian seasoning.